Check one. They say I best start over. Well, I'm going to start over. Ocho. Good morning, people. Morning, 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 morning. I'm going to start over my rant what I was on just now because this is one of the reasons why I was ranting just now. Was he always say, back me out now? Oh my God. Okay, no problem. Watch what I was saying, right? I hope you guys having a good morning so far, because I'm sleepy-ish. But anyhow, I was woken. EK, you need new cards. Seems well. Donate no family. I don't put up me what you call it. Me cash up and me PayPal. You understand? I'm gonna put up the mobile banking just now. Donate so I could keep the thing them flying. I wasn't working for 2 years, you know. I may get the honorarium. You hear? If I did get an honorarium, if they did give me a little sugar cake to promote the vaccine, I would have got enough cards so that I wouldn't need the cards. You understand? Yes, friend. So donate. Keep the vibes up. Put your money where part you want my mouth to be. You hear? Because this kind of thing is taxing, eh? Because I do this, certain jobs I don't get, certain opportunities I don't get, because I dare to ask a question of the government. But anyhow, what I was ranting about before you couldn't hear me. I understand that some of you guys, you love me, and I love you too. I understand that you are enthusiastic about the politics and what's going on right now, but calling me 6 o'clock in the morning, that deal, no. And unless saying it's on fire, don't call me 6 o'clock in the morning, please and thanks. You hear? So if I get to bed around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, right? Human beings need at least 8 hours of sleep to get them by, right? So I went to bed about after 1 this morning. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 7 hours of sleep if I get up 8 o'clock, right? I normally get up about 8:30. 8:30 is half an hour time to go prep for the show and go live. Set up my streamings them and everything, and I'm good to go, right? So calling me 6 o'clock in the morning, gonna throw off my sleep, right? And he gonna wreck me for the rest of the day. And he gonna leave me groggy and tired. You see, I start a whole live and me plug in my audio cable. All that there come from grogginess, right? So you could drop me a little message, and if you want to call me back later in the day, yeah. But calling me 6 o'clock in the morning, and what you calling me for? To complain about Japan. People, let me tell you something, right? Japan ain't doing anything different to what he's been doing since he's been on radio. Nothing different. Why you might find it just a little bit unorthodox is because there aren't much people like Japan on radio. His personality, his aura is different, right? It's something like mine, but still different. I know when to switch up and way. But Japan always on a high, and that's just Japan. And so, if you have not been paying attention to radio and what's going on, you might miss it. You understand? So, I would suggest to people, right, that you don't be surprised when you hear the things that Japan say. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own vibes. If you have an issue with anything that he says, you could call into the show, or you could drop him a line, send him a message without the hostility, because when I heard about the incident where somebody was outside wanting to stab him and kill him for calling Douglas' name, I was irate about that. I don't like them kind of bullshit there. And when I found out the person who wanted to kill Japan, I mean, a big old stinking man like you talk about, you stab up people and all them kind of foolishness still today. You was a bad man back in your prime, yes. But you're old now. You could barely stand up. Mind you, the video where the person taking a heat, saying he gonna stab up Japan. He lean up on a sidewalk, you know. 'Cause he can't walk good. He old now. I can't condone them kind of stupidness there. I don't like the fact that Japan trying to include Douglas in Iran right now in the current politics. But I know how to address it. I would know what to say to Japan. I would know what to say in response to Japan. But threaten to kill him and call him crazy and all them kind of damn stupidness there. Sometimes the comrades them is just a little bit too overzealous. And now you need to just chill a little bit. You hear? Just relax on yourself. Don't get too emotional about certain things. Because hear me. Pam is in a pickle right now. A serious pickle. Pam has never been a party that could manfully win an election by themselves. And it has been so for a very long time. Labour is the only party that could do that by itself without having to team up with anybody. Right? So, I made a post last night on Facebook, and we have a guest this morning, so I don't want to rant on too long and then I lose track of time. But anyhow, I made a post last night, right? And I want you guys to follow me clearly. Sean is vying to be Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. Is Sean ready to be Prime Minister? I say no. And not because I have something personal against him, or because me just not like him, or because he a Pam and me a Labour. No, damn stupidness. I don't reason like that. I take a look at the facts and the stats. I take a look at things that you say, things that you don't say, things that you did, and things that you did not do. And if you're ready for the job, if your leadership is intact, follow me. Sean got into a coalition with Timothy Harris. That's the first blot. You understand? How could you go into a coalition with a man who was dismissed from one of the major political parties and hear his gripes? He just wanted to be Prime Minister. Because all the things that he were accusing Douglas of, you turn on and see what happened now. 10 times worse than Dougie. So, that's his first mistake. Teaming up with Timothy Harris. Timothy Harris' career would have been over if Sam Conda didn't throw him a lifeline. We could now look back at it and see. If Sam Conda had stayed in Labour, things wouldn't have played out how they played out. Tim wouldn't have gotten the strength that he got. He got the support from Sam Conda. And people respected Sam Conda to the point where they say, well, okay, if Sam could come out, then there must be something in what this guy is saying. Pam just agreed with Timothy because he was against Douglas. Nothing more, nothing less. You understand? Good, that's his first blot. His second blot. He commanded a greater number in Parliament than Timothy. But Timothy, before even going into the election, before even winning anything, they appointed him leader of the bunch. Hear me. A disgraced, fired and dismissed, discarded politician from the major political party in St. Kitts and Nevis. Sean and Mark pick him up, dust him off, and present him back to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And it worked. It worked beautifully. The people of St. Kitts and Nevis bought into what they were selling, hook, line, and sinker, because it sounded good. It sounded good. And some people really and truly was fed up of the status quo, where you had some people at the very top and they were behaving as though the country belonged to them. It's the same, so you have people now who in Team Unity, who with PLP, who with CCM, feel like the country belonged to them. And they could just go and say and do whatever it is that they want. But just like them in Labour, they're going to get taken down a peg because see the government mash up now. So all the things where Cindy are go on with, all the things where Wendy are go on with, all the things where Juicy are go on with, all that they're going to come to an end. And they're going to come right back down to shit streak. You hear? So, people were fed up and people really wanted to change. And people voted for that. And they turned around and they made him leader of them. Now, based on what Sean said, that he realized since 2015 that Timothy's attitude and Timothy's style of politics did not align with theirs. They had an opportunity in 2020 to get rid of Timothy or to cut him down a peg, put him back in his place. And what did he do? Oh, he was standing on principle. Partner, and the same thing goes for Mark too. Nothing at all should come in front of the welfare of your country and its citizens. That is the role of a prime minister. That should be the mentality of a leader. Once you realize something is going to adversely affect your country and its citizens, you spring into action and you begin to move. That is the hallmark of a leader. But you didn't do that in 2020. You came back in 2020 and tell us that Timothy is the best thing. Even though you had 4 seats and even though you had an opportunity to listen to Mark and join with Mark, then you were the only person who went up there with Timothy to put him back in, to further consolidate his power and his influence. You did that. Nobody did that for you. And the reason that you were giving, it can't hold water. You were standing on principle. Even though you saw and you observe, and even though Mark tell you, and even though your colleagues told you, boy, this is the thing that we're experiencing with Timothy. We can't continue to go so with this man. Mark said, and Mark confirmed that you guys disagreed with him and gave him back the power. But you mean you tell me I in a cabinet with Timothy for 5 years and none of you in there sit down and analyze this man? And really get to know the mettle of this man? You see, Arya just saw him as an opportunity to get into government. And Arya went in there and Arya in learn a goddamn thing. Because he's now confirming that Arya don't know how government works. And he says so, not me. Arya went in there and I didn't properly assess him. Everybody that, let me tell you something, young people. Everybody that you come into contact with, assess them. Find out beyond a shadow of a doubt the person with whom you are working. Monitor them. Listen to the things that they say. And you will understand. Watch their move. Don't listen to what people say. Watch what they do. So none of them really understood the individual in which they were dealing with. Timothy is a brilliant guy. Whether you want to like him or not, and this is something that's the problem that we have in this country. That's why we can't realize our true potential. Because instead of understanding people and respecting people for what they are, you get all emotional. Oh, me not like him. So nothing really say me not want to hear from him. Yeah? That's why somebody just sound so damn stupid when you talk. Because I don't listen to anything, I don't pay attention to anything. But as long as I get in your 2 pence, you're good. So 2020 was another blot that showed me, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you're not ready for this leadership thing, yeah? You're not calculated. You don't see down the road. So now, you come 2 years later, and the way in which you were trying to take down Timothy was not going to work. Timothy didn't anticipate everything that you guys were going to do and going to say. He even showed up at your convention and sat right there. He didn't move a muscle. He sat and he listened to everything. Them that are dangerous people. They come right in the middle of your rah-rah and sit down and listen to everything what you got to say, to analyze you, to learn you. And while they're sitting down there, they're planning and they're plotting. Them that are dangerous people. And now you stop up there and now you abuse and now you carry on, you abuse him and now you way. And he sit down right there and he listen. I tell her he was going to come. And even after I done abuse him, he still ain't say a word. You know what he went gonna do? Plan, plot, and put things into position. So while I out there, and a bang a fire motor going with all kind of things, Timothy a plan. Timothy a plot. Timothy don't see what going on. I tell her he was going to fire you, and now you stop there, and now you let him fire you. I wasn't going to afford Timothy the opportunity to fire me. I was going to sign the letter, send it to the GG, and then hand in my resignation. I come out from here. That argument would have suited you better than to sit down in there, let him fire you, and now look with how he be now. In all your ministries, trying to make all you look bad. And instead of you come out with the facts and the stats that we've been asking for the longest while, to update us on what is going on in the ministries and come with serious and tangible updates so that the people know exactly what is going on. Or you allow Timothy the opportunity to spin all your story for you. And so now why are you playing defense as opposed to being offensive? That again says to me that you're not a good leader, that you ain't ready for this PMship. Because every move that you made fed into Timothy's move. I tell you from a long time, this guy playing chess, and now you're playing checkers. So me supposed to jump on your bandwagon now because me from Sunny Point and say, yeah, let you be prime minister? No time. Me no work so. Me mind no work so. And I don't know if me and you still friend, but this is what it is. And if you can't tell your friend them something, well then they ain't really your friend. Whether you want to like Timothy or not, you have to respect his brilliance. And sometimes smartness to run out. Let's not forget that. But you got to respect your opponent. The art of war, everything, kung fu, they teach all this thing. Respect your opponent. Don't underestimate them. And you underestimate this guy at every turn. And once people understand and analyze these things, nothing that Jupan says supposed to affect you and get you all emotional. What it's supposed to do is to amp up your efforts to go out there and canvass and campaign for Labour. Make sure that you get more votes. Make sure that you bring more people into the party, not force more people out of the party. People can be flipped. Timothy is proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that people can be flipped. It's now 9:34. My guest is supposed to be on here just now. But I just wanted to to bring that full circle to you guys so that you understand. Somehow you need to get out all your feelings and put down the emotions and see things logically. That's why a lot of people will be so obnoxious when it comes to politics, because they just don't know how to interact with people. You got some people, you don't put them out front to deal with the customers. You put them in the back room to lift up the box them and to count the box them, because they don't know how to interact with people. What you're supposed to be doing out there as a Labour person is to flip people, not antagonize people. The same goes for any party. So now Sean is in the midst of a battle where he's now with Mark. Mark sure about his seat than Nevis, you know. Mark more sure about his seat than you, Sean. Because here you are in a hostile environment on St. Kitts, where you're now facing the strongest single party ever in the history of the country, which is the Labour Party. A revived Labour Party, a re-energized Labour Party, a refocused Labour Party. And once a Labour Party is re-energized and refocused, nothing could beat it, you know. Whether you want to admit it or not, nothing could beat it. If you want to hang on to what happened in 2015 and 2020, go right ahead. But just like how you underestimate Timothy Harris, you're underestimating the Labour Party. Take nothing for granted. Don't believe in your own hype. You might say it on the platform to get your supporters all riled up, but in the back of your mind, you know what you have to do. So you come out here now and you're fighting against one of the most brilliant politicians we have ever produced, one of the most cutthroat politicians we've ever produced, the king of transactional politics, who ain't afraid to spend his money, who ain't afraid to mingle with people, who ain't afraid to put on people. And this is the distinction between Labour and PAM. Timothy ain't got no problem with making an ex-convict a big fish. Timothy ain't got no problem with spending his money over here to get what he wants at the end of the day. My observation is of PAM is that they feel that money is too good for certain people, and so they wouldn't pay for certain things. Timothy, I have the problem. Timothy would surround himself with any and everybody, no matter the class or creed, whether you want to like the guy or don't want to like the guy. This is who you are dealing with. And I want to tell me I know that there. Are you want to tell me that you ain't observed that? I mean, come on. Are you want to tell me that you ain't observed that? Are you ain't paying attention to that? This is politics. You can't take nothing for granted. So now, are you up and down in a battle with Timothy and all his resources, his influence and his power, and still trying to attack Labour? Sean, you're down here in a battle with two strong political parties. Now, if you want to break it down further, PLP ain't got the kind of strength where Labour got in terms of numbers. But what they lack in numbers, they are making up for by causing chaos. And the chaos is only going to hurt you. Labour has enough support that they could withstand any little damage that Timothy might do them in terms of numbers. But you, Pam, you going to can't withstand it? The man going to erode all your votes them. He is focused on all you know. You think Timothy study Labour? He might got Labour in his side of view, but he focused on Pam. And instead of re-strategizing and coming with a different approach, you just out there, a chop your frack and not understand who you deal with. And so now your people out there trying to focus on Timothy and still call Labour and Douglas name. By people now buy them garbage there. That ship they done sail. Timothy has proven that he 10 times worse than Douglas. You know want to come out of in there? You say so? You done said to us that Timothy worse than Douglas. But yet still, Japan to talk about Labour and Douglas. Every chance on the platform you get your car Labour name. What you should have done is to go to Labour, go to Dr. Joe, call a truce. Call a truce. And let both of you focus all your efforts on taking down Timothy Harris. When me no went to college go study no nothing. Me no got a political science degree like Big Lice. But when me got a common sense and too good eye and too good ear. Me more long and he big, but he don't lead me. It ushers me, but he don't lead me. Because I know where I'm going. I know what me eye and me ears tell me. And what goes in get processed inside my big head before it come out my mouth. So me no went no college go study no politics. But me no stupid. If you were an astute leader, what you should have done, just like what you do with Timothy, join with Timothy. You should have realized the cards on the table and you should have made the move, call a truce with Labour, and then both of you focus your efforts on getting rid of Timothy down here in St. Kitts. Mark not got a problem there in Nevis. But you up and down with Mark. Mark can't influence somebody down here who switched from Labour to PAM. He said he the kingmaker because he come with his numbers. People down here might like Mark, but people listen to what he does say. He don't really like St. Kitts, you know. And sometimes I don't even think that he like Nevis and all. But he doesn't have the battle that you have politically. And you allow yourself to go down this road. I doubt if you had a meeting with Labour yet. Because Jupan thought they still abuse Douglas and abuse Labour. Every chance you get, your call Labour name. Oh, don't allow Labour to sneak in the back door. Labour ain't sneaking in the back door. You see Labour look like they're sneaking around here? Labour focus on what they're doing. Nobody's sneaking. Go sneak through the back door. Sneak through the back door? When have you known Labour to sneak anywhere? When Labour roll out, they roll out big, red and ready. You must hear them a come. You know see the convention they had last week Sunday? Labour put on a thing up Kuna conference and everybody get frightened. When Labour we focus and we energize, Labour don't sneak nowhere. They stamp and they march their ass right to where the ass you be and they take you down. So Labour can't sneak in the back door, partner. It took 3 of you, 3 parties coming together to take down one Labour. And now that you have another Labour, PLP, with one of the smartest and cunning politicians we've ever seen around here, who's willing to burn down the bridge, even if he on it still. You've seen his propensity. He showed you in no uncertain terms. And you still out there talking about you focus on Labour. You better focus on the demon in front of you. So, me observing all these things, seeing all these things, supposed to go out there and promote Sean as a leader? Well, who gonna wag Sean? Because it appeared to me that Mark Brantley a wag him. You got your own battle down here to fight and sink his ground, you know. Are you sure if Mark Brantley win his 3 seats and he come back down here, and you not down here with him, he gonna renegotiate with whoever in front of him? And where that gonna leave you? Partner, you go think, Ike, your real friend. You want to tell me none of the people around you could have said this to you? Could have shown you this? Are your strategists around Pamela show you this? Are you just out there rah, trying to match Timothy energy? Or you can't match Timothy energy? Timothy is a born guala. Yes, I might got some young gualas around, but you ain't got the experience like Timothy? He proved it and he showed it in no uncertain terms. And this is not me just praising him up. This is me calling things for what they are. If the country and the promises and the people who I saw you put first was so important to you, how are you allow Timothy to continue in a 2020? That's the ultimate question. And don't tell me principle. Principle more important to I than your country? Rasta? Lord, let me go look for me guess here because I don't understand how these people that make these kind of blunders here and them they're supposed to be politicians. Sometimes I believe that you win by fluke and I ain't really win by strategy. I mean, come on. These things clear and plain to see. Anybody with any kind of political sense could see this. My God. Oh my God. Joycelyn, right, they will never understand the assignment. I don't know the Timothy. How much time, how much every afternoon I say, you don't know the Timothy are you dealing with? Timothy ain't have parliament putting on nobody. Look how much people around Timothy make millionaires. How much millionaires are you make? Only one name I call so far that Holly. Sean, you could not make at least 2, 3 or 3 people from Sunny Point millionaires? Or we could have get his working skillet? and up water department. So we couldn't have been a millionaires. And now you want me to follow that? Give me a break. Not time at all. Give me a break. I don't gotta do better than that. I say I can tell her already. Who want me hush, pay me you hush. Otherwise me gonna talk. I make it pay go to talk. So who want me hush, pay me to hush. You hear? How you don't know the Timothy are you dealing with? Are you play checkers any man a play chess? Anyhow. Lewy. This will say Timo had finance. He stifled them. Okay. But if you realize that somebody undermining you, you're going to give them further cause to undermine you. You're going to allow them more leverage over you. You're not spring into action. You know, use and pull the blade when you got the blade. The blade that they had in their hand was 2020. But what they do? They come and they tell Harry Timothy the best thing on the face of the earth. The two of them. And now works with me because me call things for how me see it. I try to deny me jobs in Culturama. Wex now ask with me because, focus all your efforts on Timothy. But you know, focus all your efforts on Timothy, I still call labor name. You still got the damn papi show them up and down pan Facebook and talk about bone in rice and pepper in soup. If we want to go back to the days of bone in rice and pepper in soup, that's a mark campaign. That somehow somebody in St. Kitts not like Nevis. You join with Timothy? Nobody said you know. You join with him? Come up with a good plan. Sit down and negotiate and work it out. Come up with something. And who ain't want to go with Nevis, we get rid of them too. Are you sure if you ask anybody around St. Kitts and Nevis, you think Nevis supposed to get a fair share? They will tell you yes. But man and man still ask, what is fair share? How you work it out? Can you put it in the Constitution now? Can we also make provision that if it so happens that Nevis is doing better than us, they ain't going to stop the revenue sharing against like Van Sam stopped it when Nevis was doing better? You got to bring all these things to the table, but you see, Mark does not want to have a serious and difficult conversation about this whole thing. Does not want it. He wants everything easy. Because when they put the question to him about why not introduce a piece of legislation so that it doesn't matter if somebody like Timothy or 10 times worse than him come along, that Nevis gonna be all right because the Constitution, it is enshrined in the Constitution. And they got to follow the Constitution. And if they don't follow it, remember the whole section from 100, the whole section that was carved out in the Constitution for Nevis, puts Nevis on a firmer footing. I don't understand the assignment. But because he had, you know, and do it. You want the easy way. The easiest way out was, the Charlestown Accord. The Charlestown Accord was called, and what Van Sam called for, budgetary support. You then turn on and call for budgetary support too. Why would Nevis need budgetary support? So how do you work out there, make your own money and raise your own revenue? And then you want to look down here to blame somebody down here? And people in CCM talk about, you want to go back to bone and rice and pepper. Them old time something there. When now you had 3 seats, 3 federal seats. A 2 salary mark in a gate, 2 Eric in a gate, 2 Alexis in a gate, 2 salaries them a collect. 1 in Nevis and 1 down in St. Kitts. 2. Between the 2 of them, how much money they take out the St. Kitts treasury and carry back Nevis? And every year Timothy pay double. So every year the man get 4 salaries. So who keep something from Nevis really and truly? You make all the money there. And you not put something new and innovative in place to put Nevis on a firmer footing. That's the crux of the matter, you know. They don't want you to have this conversation. Just continue to abuse Timothy. That's the campaign. And we must join with that. When I was out here questioning everything under the sun, go on into immunity, what Mark say? What Mark say? Bye. Give me a break. If I ain't ready for this conversation yet, don't interfere with me. Lord, let me guess, yeah? Sandra T, trust me. Right now we got paint war going on in Sunny Point. People are poppy show themselves. Why man no buy? It's like the more you talk, it's like the worse these people do, Rasta. Believe you me. Sis may vex, you know. May vex. And see, somebody said they still have a majority in Nevis in the NIA. 4-1. One be a seat NRP got in a thing and they in opposition. The rest of them in the NIA. The Constitution says the NIA is responsible for certain things in Nevis. And before the people of Nevis ask Mark Brantley a question, they might ask NRP. Mark want you go ask NRP. Mark want you go ask Timothy. Since when Nevis is turning into beggars? Nevis are proud people. And everything is everybody else's fault. So you not take no kind of responsibility. Or you want to hold everybody else's feet to the fire, but nobody must ask you no question. How that possible? How? Somebody explain that to me. You use analogy about cow and all kind of damn stupidness. When we ask about the peace program, how does the peace program works? How is it administered? What is this $41 million in the budget? How will it spend? They jump, oh, you come to kind of like the peace man them. Oh, I want the people to go back to crime and rah, 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 rah. That was Mark Brantley them. Now last night hear him. The peace program is an innovative program. And that's why I supported it. It was the best. But only 77 people in the Navy span it. You sit down in Parliament and let Timothy hijack everything that I come up with and then coming out here bawling like a bunch of pussies according to Big Lies about Timothy I should have stopped him in 2020. You, Mark, should have said, well, Sean, since you don't agree with me, Nevis come first, you hear? And if I have to forfeit a salary and come out from amongst Timothy to let the people of Nevis know that all after 5 years, Timothy and guess what we're supposed to get yet? I go back on the opposition benches. But no, you went along with it. And nobody's supposed to hold you accountable for that. Just hold Timothy one accountable. Every parliamentarian, every cabinet member, you could get a cabinet submission. When the $27,000 FIPS wrote a cabinet submission to the tune of $300 and something thousand to pay people for their work during the COVID. When the FIPS draft it, she submitted to cabinet. Very detailed. And when it come, she step out the room. And are you approve it? When they could write a cabinet submission to pay herself $27,000, well, why they ask you couldn't write a cabinet submission to make sure that Nevis get a fair share and break it down like how Wendy break it down? How? Why? Come. Talk to me, now, man. You don't want to have that conversation. You don't want to have that conversation. The man that you lauded, you practically kissed Timothy backside for 7 years. You had your nice pearly whites pressed up against his posterior for 7 years. You defended Timothy to the hilt. Nobody couldn't get to Timothy. Not in cabinet, not in parliament, not on the road, not on the radio. And now, the people who you so arrogantly dismiss when we were asking questions, you now want them same people, some of them you victimize yourself, to jump on your bandwagon, to abuse Timothy, to get rid of Timothy, so you could go back in with Sean. Sean, Trevi, you need to talk to your leader. Yeah, he gonna win in Nevis, no problem. But you need to talk to your leader. Do some work. He come like your logic to work. Do some work, the man. Do some work. This bag of noise you up and down and make. Come on. Tanya said, damn, would think he should be proud to know. No, he wanted to put more people on the peace program. You would think that he would be proud that only 77 young men in Nevis on the peace, which means Nevis not gonna lot of gangster. That's a good thing. But just to show you that he's only focusing and complaining and bawling and moping and groping, that 77 people in Nevis and the peace is a bad thing for Mark. It should have been more. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. This is social media is a lot of work. Please don't try tired out the man. But this is either on social media. That's part of my work. Sometimes my woman and the work with me because they see me on the phone. They think other woman may talk to. Pour them to know. Everything we do on social media, me see a dollar sign to it. I seed me a plant now. But he plant a seed for his popularity as opposed to planting a seed for the prosperity of Nevis. And we must just ups and just join he for it. And just abuse Timothy one. Who he? And now, he focus on a party. The NRP! The NRP! You asked them if they should love me, the NRP! Sounds so damn stupid. And now they're going to talk about the NRP are hypocrites. You thrust a federal election on the people them, while the people them trying to rebuild themselves. And so they had to make split decisions. And now why you want on Facebook and call them hypocrites? So what do you ask they're supposed to do? What are they supposed to do? You want them join your fight, but you still call them hypocrites. And people in Nevis buy into this garbage. You want them to join your fight against Timothy. And because they're not rah-rah like you and ask you a couple questions about your stewardship, about your moves that you did and did not make, you turn around and you call them hypocrite. You turn around and you call them stupid. You turn around and you call them all kind of names. But the people in Nevis can't see. The people in a Nevis can't see. I mean, come on. Let me just call things for what they are. And this is the problem they're going to always have with me. Because I think of myself. Labour people say me not true Labour because me criticize Labour. PAM people say me a Labour because I criticize them. Hush me backside. NRP, people work with me when I criticize NRP and say they need to step up the game and do more. CCM works with me because me not abuse Timothy and because me ask the leader a couple questions. So what is that really be? Let me tell you why I be. I'm a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis. You hear? A citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis. My passport says so. And anything to do with them two islands there, I gonna talk. Who no want me talk? Pay me a hush. Plain and simple. Pay me to hush. I wonder if I could take a few phone calls before my guest gets here. Hopefully my guest still coming. I'm waiting for my guest to link up. But you know how this campaign thing go right now. He grimy. Everybody out canvassing. But I implore them not to forget to come to the media every now and again and say something. Oh yeah? So, that's my number on the screen. Anybody want to challenge me on anything want to say, call me. Let me hash it out. Just call me. I'm not a bad guy to talk to, you know. I know when to switch it up and tone it down and go rah, rah, rah. Oh, another thing too. Because I saw a conversation on OB's page about what the niece of Timothy Harris said with regard to this step. Here's my take on that. In one breath, the young lady is saying that we have a strong economy, the best economy, because Timothy is running the economy excellently. But in the same breath, she's also saying that if you go to university, come back with your studies, that you should not be afraid to join this step and let this step do what it's allowed to do. Darling, that's what this step was crafted for, you know? This step was not made for people who went to university and come back, yeah? This step was made for people, or the PEP was made for people. All right, see, I get in a telephone call here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. How are you?
Brother, you look an international preacher. you see, me and Peter, we come. That joker from Barbados. You and Peter, we come. So Sean and going to listen to you. You and Peter, we come. So they're going to listen to you. You and Peter, we come. So Sister, they're going to listen to you. You and Peter, we come. So NRP, going to listen to you. Because we on the street, we got the news and all understand what's going on there. And that's the fact, you know, EK. Because you see, I listened to you last week, Friday. It wasn't the kind of, you know. The matter wasn't news, you know.
Right.
And people were listening. EK. And people are saying, boy, Cookie been saying the same thing. I hear you get some lecture to the ones here now. Because EK just now, we're talking to these people. We've been talking over and over and over. You spell it out again this morning. We're dealing with Tim. You want to Sean is your child. Sean is a ram goat. And Mark Bentley. But let's see how Timothy do William. Sam Kando. That should have been, that is the first eye opener. That should have been the first eye opener. Well, Sean could have go back and see how he do Douglas. Sean could go back and see how we do Pam and Simon and Powell and all of them. So what you're telling me? I like you last night with a bunch of holiness or principles. But the principles that should have done speak out. There's no principle that I keep me lucky. These men are moving like it's the personal thing. I listen to Mark trying to make a saying, oh, if a woman and a man married, that is their business. That is their in-house business, okay?
That ain't got nothing to do with us.
This is the country business. The man is going to speak to someone for some years. And all man come on last week and talk about NRP and NRP and NRP and NRP said this and NRP. Mark, we want to know what you said for the past 7 years. Because you are the most brilliant guy in this generation of citizenship. They got some tape with somebody saying how Mark is a good politician. But the man really got to see what Mark do in 2022. This one technical he was he said about Mark, but he done dead and gone. So Mark is going to vote to get it. Why Mark said to come on your show, EK? You invite Mark on your show?
Yeah. Don't send out the
Who you
invitation.
don't go, but you don't control the board. Because the other day was a mission with them fellas in Miami, you know. And you see he was going on, and I know you ain't going to let him get away. Because none of them right now want to come on your show. They want to be on a show where the host is telling them about the foul. The woman do and what's her name there? The lady that's married to SKN and all these people. That's what they wanted on the show where they're talking about going forward. All of them, if they're bad, invite every single one of them eat publicly on your show. Put it out. Let the nation know that you want them to come and eat your show. All of them. Every single 3 neighbors and these sets from down here will get fired. All of them need to come on your show. Because they're going to want to put on the place. The issue now is go and eat the show. The show running on the show overseas. Because the woman overseas don't know what's going on in tickets. She ain't fully in tune. You realize the show the mother run on?
But look during the whole debacle, we learned that Sean wasn't going to Parliament from an Antiguan radio station. We learned that Sean was giving Timothy a week to come back to the table on a Grenada radio station. He ain't say to Win, he ain't say to ZAZ, he ain't say to Freedom, he ain't say to nobody here. We learned it from overseas.
I don't want to tell me the
bye.
I don't want to tell me the people at Sunny Point. Well, in the bundle behind Sean and Pam and saying, yeah. If I was a Pam Sean, I'm going to be telling me these stupidness. Because I want to mash up every town hall they got. I don't go to all the town hall and mash them up. But I call the police, I take them out all the time.
Okay.
If I did vote for Pam, you saw it down about for some kind of when someone would vote. The evidence is there. The evidence is clear because look what happened now. You saying it when I was clear. Sam should not allow to go with the vote. I don't give a cross in the floor. But you cannot tell me that you cannot me vote.
Come back and ask you something.
Thank you very much. Because you came to the house to vote for me as the Labour man. And I keep saying all the time, you know what happened one this time? A politician to get a big pay cut and he just walk out, that he going. Because Eugene is the big example. Eugene was on Pam headquarters, Labour Day, spinning all of the thing with them. How much more can he get? How bad can he get to the people in disrespect? Eugene Hamilton was on a thing spinning around in Kent, up in Pam headquarters, remember that?
Of course.
Labour Day. In this place, some days you tell me Eugene Hamilton gone, and you must question what he gone with, what is the credibility, and how the people are here to feel. But they feel the same way. He was saying, let's fast forward, EK, in 2020, they were laughing at the Labour people who outstayed, who outstayed. Now today the Pam people fighting to the end and they're coming to vote. Sean, them allow that. There was the principle to say them, let us be with this thing here proper. They sit down and allow it, EK. That's why I say all the time, when Timothy Harris said people ban water from here, that's when I realize Mark Bell is a clown. Because Mark Bell stand up and say, Tim, hold on. My wife is not something kids. My wife is not something kids. There was the principle then to tell Tim, but Tim is disrespecting his wife. It's just like you, EK. If I saw 100 people this and that, you must have cooked in the corner, you're talking about my mother. What is the first thing you're going to say? If I say all kind of point people, but you came out, what should this cook talking? But cook in the bed, you forget nobody was on the point. But if I single out, and I say, well, maybe all little people, or some of them people in Sandy Point, then I mean, they call everybody name. But Timothy said, people bang water come here. Who are you talking about? Timothy said, eating chuma, eat potato. We're a New Zealand study. Where Sean them be spending thing when Timothy was talking? It's about him all on here. When Patrick get up in the meeting in St. Paul and say, we got the doctor's corona, he can't talk about that. I got the clips about it. And what they do, they sit down there. And that is why they don't want to come to the public in that kind of manner. Because they realize what the public going to be attacked. They're going on all the station where they control. Listen to Mark last night. He control the board. The fella calling to the end, he disrespecting the man. They want to done every show where they're controlling. Going to this town hall meeting where it makes no sense. Sit down and tell us what did you do for the last 7 years before we think about going forward. And each and you're right, sometimes you don't want to give Timothy the credit. But Timothy talks about them.
Big time.
Timothy laugh at them. That's the reason why each and I could stand here today and tell you when Sam Condon left to go with them. Everybody thought that could go in and maintain the ground. You know, I tell Sam, if you had formed your all parties, he will tell you that. Then I could understand you telling me Labour bad. It mean a Pam bad. But how could I join with Pam when my philosophy is not Pam? And I maintain that. Look what happened to the EK. Look at what happened to them with all the people ranting and raising at the center with Sam. They left Sam from the back and Sam is still here. And I can maintain it each year. We have to hold every single one of them accountable. But Sean them and them is a bunch of jokers. Sean is not ready for the leadership. If Sean is really ready to lead up, Timothy would have never ever run in 2020 election as the leader. They should have stopped it right there and then.
All right.
You study and you put brilliant and smart, you take a fire. My brother, continue what you're doing enough now. Have a good morning.
Thank you so much for that call. All right, so that's Curtis, and of course, you know, Curtis can always put things into perspective for us. Even some Labour people abuse Curtis and say, you need to turn it down. Every day here come with the same thing. But some of them don't pay attention. Because as always, instead people listen to the message, they watch the messenger. And they miss the message by a mile. They miss the message by a mile. I ain't vexed with nobody for being a PLP. I ain't vexed with nobody for being a PAM. But if you're going to step to me to talk politics, let's talk politics. Plain and simple. Let us talk politics. Again, I go back to the young lady who said, because it's just recently we learned that we have doctors here who are on step. Our doctors went away to get certified to come back, only to go on step and walk down dominoes. Nothing wrong with dominoes and nothing wrong with step. Don't get me wrong. Let me take this next call and finish the thought when I come back. Caller, morning.
Good morning, the way right.
Morning.
How are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well. What about you?
Okay, I just plugged in. Somebody sent me the link, so I just plugged in and got hooked into you.
Yes, man. Welcome.
Yeah. No, the issue with the Nevis Reformation Party fielding the candidates that they have fielded, and the argument that is made by the Concerned Citizens Movement is absolutely crazy. One, NRP is in the position that they are in, we are in, because of the deceitful, deceptive, bad-minded, dishonest practice of the team unity partners, every last one of them. We were planning for an election in 3 years' time from now, 2025. They force us into a position where our back are against the wall. And I'm now calling us hypocrites. Now let me give you a biblical reference, okay? Because in Matthew chapter 12, Jesus and his disciples walking through a cornfield. The law strictly before that prohibited man from walking on the Sabbath day. But on this day, he said that they're going to the cornfield, and the disciples became hungry as they journeyed, and they began to pluck some corn and ate the corn. And the Pharisees, the critics, just like system, so what they're doing and began to condemn them and say, well, the law said that, and how you have the servant breaking the Sabbath. And Jesus turned to them and said, let me ask you a question. If your sheep fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, would you take it out of the pit? It's walking. And they agreed, yes. The principle here, Ike, that there are times when circumstances demand that you make a change or an adjustment in your plan because of the circumstance. This circumstance that we are in is not our making. It is the making of CCM and the rest of the partners. And so to criticize NRP and to call NRP hypocrite, and whoever does that, is absolutely dishonest. Now, I do not expect much better from Mark as a premier because that is his whole life. His life is built on deception, and he's not going to change. I am more annoyed with the people who are around, who we looked up to in our society as the moral backbone and the framework of our society, and they support the man with his dishonesty. And so I am more afraid of them. I think this is Albert Einstein said that we are not afraid of the man who do the evil. Here we should be more afraid of the individual who accept or support the man in his evil. And this is exactly where we are at this point. NRP is in a good place. We have done the right thing in this time of crisis. And I believe at the end of it, we will be vindicated. And so thank you very much for your time. Continue to preach the way that you're preaching, young Curtis. We need more like you, both of you in our society. Bless you, my brother.
Give thanks, man. Blessings to you as well. I don't know how else to put across this thing so that people fully understand what is happening. Hear me. A lot of people who are with Labour either stayed home or some of them switch because they say that they didn't like things the way they were going. That is okay. That is okay. The Constitution gives you that right to associate with whomever you want. Switch your vote wherever you want to switch it. And I would encourage everybody, if your party is doing shit and ain't producing, you have that right to tell them what you have to tell them. And if they don't want to listen, well, then you tell them at the polls. Because what happens in these political parties is that some people feel like the party belongs to them. And some people, the party do belongs to them. Some people were made millionaires by these parties, and so they believe the party belongs to them. And so nothing that the small man says resonates with them. Labour suffered for that. And now these three, they're going to suffer the same fate. I mean, it's a show about CCM because it seems as though that people in Nevis just walk out, they just love CCM, and that's the beat all and end it all. Yesterday was on, I got a call. Caller, you're on. Good morning. Bless, man.
Yeah, but I don't feel real bad for good partner, Sean, you know. Well, I can't feel bad for him because he caused this on himself.
All right.
People gonna look back at him and say he gonna be the biggest disappointment for Sam in the last 60 years, you know. And they're gonna waste my door, you know. Right after the election, after the dust settle, and the years that they lose the election badly and whatnot, for all them bad decisions going make over the last 7 years, they're gonna waste him right at the door and say, no, not you again. Imagine this at the time, this is supposed to be time revival now. They're out of government for how long? 25 years? 20-something years?
Mm-hmm.
They got 4 seats now. Everything's supposed to be on the up and up for them. And look what they're going to now. Scrabbling for dear life now. You know, can't face a pen just like that. These men really didn't have no kind of foresight or anything like that.
No. Clear to see.
How you let these people influence him to cause that with Timothy and hinder the kind of state we're in right now? And he's not here prepared already for no election and no kind of citizen.
Oh, okay.
None of these things.
All right.
What I wanted to do was what? So you thinking the Prime Minister should fill that door? Or we're going to write a letter and the Governor General going to turn it over from him to you. That ain't going to happen. And you say anything, they ain't not the team, you know. They don't know the team.
Oh.
You keep saying it and they're not listening.
They're not here.
I don't reach a point now, you know. I say, look, I'm going to give you 30 grand to advise them. and CCM, you want 50 from them. Just because they want to take you out of culture and work, you don't charge them extra for that. Just for advice and WhatsApp, because they need more than advice right now. Because they don't necessarily seriously, the kind of lick they're going to get. But people can feel sorry for them, and say, we don't tell lies, we tell lies. How you could just come and make the perfect strategy for this? They were supposed to arrest Timothy Adua in 2020. If you want to fall in line, we arrest your Adua one time. They don't do it. Since you don't do it then, all you have to do, sit down, play the long game. Wait until the election coming up in 2025 and see what he's going to do. Sit down and wait, just wait it out.
I was waiting for somebody to come with that. I willfully
That's
left it out.
Enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my last block.
Sit down and wait. Because Timothy don't bring in the woman, from that woman from Trinidad,
Of course.
Somebody don't give the speech. The speech about, she was walking around and see people say that everything gonna work. That's a damn right. She not stay in the hotel all the time. She not come out nowhere. She not want to get delivered to she room all the time. So she never walk out nowhere. That speech can't deliver to her.
Partner, watch her. She not see nothing different to what she see the last time when she come here come talk about Douglas a galloping dictator. Not a damn thing Bill knew in a St. Kitts and Nevis for she to say what she say.
You can say enough for TV up in our show.
Okay, good. Who them there fool?
So when that come out and watch that, and she said about she said to mine. He not say nothing, He not say nothing. The people them not say nothing. Mark and all of them don't start to jumping at the conniving ways, boy. I see what he's gonna plan and this and that and what's that. By now we're not to fuss him and this and that and way and what's that. The government make a plan and what's that. What they done, but they don't know the team. Team done 2 steps ahead of them. Because any move they try to make, guess what? He don't got somebody in a position there who deal with all the business. So anything they try to do, he don't know.
But what I
they can't go in the courthouse and deal with nothing. They can't go nowhere in government and deal with nothing because he done for people. And they just realize they say, oh shit. But we can't even go in the courthouse and do this. We can't even go to this. Everywhere we go, but we got to go face the Harris, man. What kind of thing this? Wait, how we going to know this here?
Alright.
Oh wait, how we going to know the man is sophisticated? So we can't even get the money to say, okay then, we're going to build a house here, do anything. Everything really, we got to go to him for everything with you? But guess what I realized that 7 years after they done been in the power. And just after election, when you had the power, when you had this thing to correct him. They had this thing to correct him,
Of course.
They could have arrested him and do and say, look, we don't like what gone. This is what happening. Look, public. Look, we can't go forward with this and what's not. Timothy is not behaving in that kind of way that's all. And we're going to stand to the principle. We're not going forward with Timothy Harris. The public would have been more protected. The public would have said, okay then.
Bye.
He ain't doing what you would say, also.
I would have been the biggest pitbull. Me would have been the biggest pitbull. You hear?
Even the lazy man who Nevis done here, man.
I would have campaigned with him.
But the thing what people don't want to say. The man in government for 7 years with Timothy. The man actually win the Nevis local election 4-1, so he control everything was on in the Nevis. 2020, he get 3 seats on the federal. So he got everything in a federal and everything in a local. So he control every damn thing in the Nevis. Everything got to come to him. And nothing to do over there. And he not come over saying it's an introduce, nothing to try to help out Nevis. And nobody want to call him out on it. And when somebody tell you the question, why you supposing them unjust them and root them up and what's not? How dare you question the leader?
I said, yes.
Well. How dare you question the leader?
How dare
when I hear that the man control everything got to come to him in an Nevis,
Okay.
And he feel that, so, nothing, he can't say this project is finished and this. He control everything in an Nevis. So you give a name, budgetary support, And here the name then now, budgetary support. That could have, you're supposed to introduce a bill to deal with all this here. If you don't want introduce a bill directly for the CBI, you say okay then. The CBI money, that's a split 75-25 between saying it's a news and what's not. You introduce a bill left, everybody got to follow it. You amend the constitution to say that all revenue has to be split. That's a 70-30 between both federations. No matter who in power or what's not, they got to follow it. You know, do it. He come down, what will he come down and start? He runs the classy shark infested waters, come and Church Street, gone into the big building. To pass what? A lot to deal with them tint.
Tint, yeah.
The Jamal with tint. January gone, see any people across the shark infested water, come take it. In a parliament, slower. Give people who just get a double salary in December more money again in January.
Okay.
He vote on it.
Okay.
He get them down the area there. And guess what? How much people on the list for music? And nobody does see that. And nobody can call him and question it and that. Ministers of government are getting the next 27,000 money. They don't get the full pay in December. They get a double salary in December. And they still get one in January. So in this case, 2 months, they get 3 pay. He come down and vote to that. Boy, he don't get double salary in December too, you know. He elected Eric don't get a double salary, you know. So then I can go where he look, oh, I want to know where I am. What do you be? Okay then. Yes, I say into that. And nobody want to question him about it. You know, put down how much division? Go on the list of the party names. How much division on the list name?
I think Brandy and
so none division than the task force work.
I be Brandy.
None of them deserve not know where I am.
Brandy and division, you know.
Well,
the commissioner.
No, yeah, he's a kitty said because he's Timothy right now.
Oh, okay, he's Timothy. Okay.
You don't give us division passport. Because I think the kind of laws where you force and leave it, when leave is not no kind of case or not gone in the leaves at all. Where you could have kept events and what's that in the leaves and what's not. Yeah, I'm not saying no. But the guy not saying no, he's from Navy. From that middle circle and Bradley with Timothy for life.
Wow. My lord, you got it.
Well, you see it. When saying it's at the big outbreak, nothing not gone in Navy. You was enforcing. You was not promoting Navy, so let me go and Navy for this and what's not for a week and get away and what's not. What Brandy said, we not the Navy too.
Okay.
And then I had the case.
All right.
By system got some people, right? They in fans and they in supporters. You know what I call them now? Blind witnesses. And then close their eye and follow the leader anyway. Whatever we say, we're going to do. They in a fan, not a supporters. Blind witnesses is what we're going to call them now, UK.
I got you, my lord.
Just close their eye and follow and listen to the voice and go forward. Anyway, you can. May let the next person come in.
All right. Thank you so much for your call. You see how the caller just put things nicely into perspective? Brantley got 4-1 local. 3-0 federal. You hear? 4-1 local, 3-0 federal. But somehow Nevis is suffering because of Timothy. Don't ask him about the budget in Nevis. Don't ask him about the economy because I think it failed. And he want big people believe that there. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, EK.
Morning.
I just a few things on the topic in the situation with Tam.
Sure.
If you look at the history of Tam have not done anything different. The last time they was in power, they did the same thing. And it turned out to be the same thing. CCM do the same thing every time. Come in, talk, and at the end of the day, they do nothing for Nevis. Nevis is in the same situation that it was in, or even worse. So I think at the end of the day, the reason why it took them 7 years to say anything, because all of them went in with a plan to get money. But after Timmy outsmart all of them, they said, oh no, he ain't going to go like this, we need to start talking. No. They went in with a plan to get money and they didn't get what they wanted. So they started to complain now to the people and expecting the people to believe them. All 7 of them should lose power. They should not win their seat.
I agree with you.
And if they win their seat, the people should take what they get. They shouldn't complain anymore. That's my little 2 cents.
And thank you so much for that. Keep listening, my Lord. Let's get real. That's how you get real. 4-1 local, 3-0 federal. Collecting 4 salaries every December, 2 salaries every month for the past 7 years. And me can ask you a question about the work he do. You come and tell me that he get visa fit to this and visa fit to that. And by that, what foreign ministers supposed to do? That's what they're supposed to do. Let's take a next call. Good morning.
Morning again, buddy. I listened to Mark last night. Mark was complaining that who ain't get the money. Mark was complaining that who ain't get the money needs last night. He get a call before that one there. The man banged them in there inside the board.
Oh.
People paying attention, we care.
Yep.
As the guy said, there's something I wonder. These people here stand up and I love Mark. But it's about loving Mark and about common sense. Someone must forget that we have children. What is the way forward, EK? EK, we need to find out. We need the lawyers to come forward. Can we take these people to court, EK? I ain't hear this thing, we got to vote. Can we take these people to court for lying to us, EK? Because you can't tell me just got the election. Where's the lawyers then? We asking for the big lawyers and take them to come forward. Help the nation, help the people, because I was helping the people.
By the big lies, them help themselves, Curtis.
That's the point. That's what I'm saying,
You
EK.
don't see the screenshots that come out the other day? Everybody try to look for the mortgage. Everybody try to look for this. Everybody try to get what they could get. Nobody worry about no country.
Douglas was the most thing. Everybody up and down, country about self. What is the quarter arm? And what is this? And what is that? I mean, when I listen to the girl, when I am telling me, EK, that girl Brian, Bangan for Tim, who used to have a very intelligent program on the FM talking about corruption and encouraging people and educating us. She tell me me gonna go watch, she says she gonna go run for Timothy Harris. They're in the red mind. Something that tell me what they're running for. Where's the principal, EK? She had a program on FM. Corruption, when Douglas was in power, somebody used to tell my mothers here, Douglas back against the wall again. You can't something you couldn't call in, because when you listen to these people, you could have swear you get the truth and nothing but the truth. Sandra Atherton, the same thing. Sandra Atherton on Facebook telling me, oh, Houseworth, Sandra bring 5 to 111. 5. May get like blocks and cement and tiles and toilet and everything of some people, Sandra Atherton. Because a lot of it corruption. He says 6 roof. Some people get a whole hotel. Sandra to Pangalan in the village. She never live in the village yet. But telling me about me roof fix. Trying to watch her fix me roof. Sandra to bring 5 to 111. You get a whole big piece of land over 9 kilometers, yeah, where I live. How you get the land? You never live in the village before. What have you done to the community? Because all are you singing to something? All are you dishonest? How can Sandra Atherton get land in the village, EK? You tell me. Because shop on behind a kilo. But village people must get land down in country. Sandra ain't gonna tell Timothy he gets 15 houses and he ain't get kilo 5. Most people supposed to vote for kilo in the village. Because we look at news people, just up on behind market, we shop it. I feel like it's a fair chance too. We must face the reality and tell the truth. Yes, we remove cannons, okay. Whatever Keel have done for the last couple of years, but just lie. Sandra Atherton got a big piece of land, EK, over here. And what is she job? Open no man a kilo. Supporting a kilo to what? I don't know. Because she can't tell us what kilo do in the village up until today. What the chick walk, the lie happen. Okay, money back, that's what they got to do. The second time around again, if people paying attention, okay, Timothy get 15 houses where Kilo vote against him, She run against Timike. Village couldn't get 5. To add insult to injury, you had a deputy prime minister's chance. Instead, you said, okay, man, let me give a kilo. He might be shot. You give it to Hamilton. What kilo be? What she be another Rambo so she can't see? She's a child. Where's the kilo common sense to tell her what is going on here? I win the seat of fight to bank Congress. A seat never been lost in history. And Timothy can't give me the deputy? Well, that's stupid. Where's the people in the village who be like a kilo? To tell her kilo, hold on here, girl. Where you standing for? To tell Timothy you're going wrong. Give something sensible. No, she sit down there again. And Sandra Atherton coming in the community. We waiting for her, you know. With all the stupidness. But with these people, let us wake up. Let us wake up in number 3 again. Don't be fooled by the money and the this and that. Because people like Sandra Atherton benefiting bigger from us. Wake up. Let's go back to the Labour Party. And let us hold the Labour Party accountable too. Let us not be sidetracked. Let us not be fooled. Things must change and it must change now. My brother, you have a good day.
Have a great day yourself, my lord. You see, these are the things that people are talking about. And when you talk, everybody let they works with you. But you got to call things for what they are. Now, if you feel to yourself that the country moved on to Timothy and you want to support Timothy, then nothing is wrong with that. But when people ask you about the substantive matters, you can then turn around and try to abuse people and rah rah boom boom and jiggly and carrying on. PLPs for the youths and something. And you mean to tell me, let me tell you something, like the point I was trying to make before I went downstream. The young lady on Tuesday night was trying to convince us that our economy is doing well. Our economy is the best. Our economy is strong under Timothy. But yet still, people who come back from university go on the PEP. Family, if you have a strong, vibrant economy, job creation is a part of that. You hear? Job creation is a part of that. The government should be focused on creating jobs. Mark said it himself the other day. You have no less than 800 students coming out of school every single year. How much jobs are you creating on Nevis? How much jobs are you creating every single year on St. Kitts? What new industry are you creating? Are you going out there looking for new and innovative ways to introduce things into St. Kitts and Nevis so that the economy is forever churning? Look at what these politicians are doing. They are bringing back people who are on Social Security and pension, giving them a big contract, $12,000 a month. Well, you want to tell me, nobody, no bright-eyed person who comes back from university or no bright-eyed person who is here already in the civil service could take on those jobs? The cabinet secretary. You want to tell me nobody in the civil service, young person, could have taken on that job? Jonel is a young, Jonel and me about the same age, and Jonel became a minister. Well, how hard it be to go in there and learn the job? You bring back Michael Powell, make him an advisor, Sidney Osborne. Them man, they're bang down 20, bang down 100. Well, you want to tell me no young person at all could have filled those positions? You have to move people along. You had people in the civil service who've been working in the Ministry of Tourism for years. None of them could have been the PS. Look who Lindsey Grant went and take and make his PS when he won. When he went over into tourism. Look who he made his PS. Nobody in the Ministry of Tourism who've been working there for years could have been the PS of tourism. Nobody. And Timothy stopped and allowed that to happen. And you want to tell me that PLP is so concerned about the youth and moving up the youth? That this step is the only way for the youth? Come on, give me a break. Let's take another call. Hello, good morning. Welcome.
EK, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. What about you?
Very well.
Nice.
Very well. EK, when I check out what's going on in Navy, it seems to me that Navians, I mean, with all due respect, have a weakness for authority. So whatever the people in authority said, they go along with it. Without even if they're not different, they go along with it. Now, you remember when CCM and Mark said, send us to St. Kitts. We're going to do better. We're going to bring back, you even hear Bingy song, we want we SIDF money. Now Bingy come with another song, Concherry. But anyway, the thing about it is, we sent them. Why are you blaming NRP? You didn't bring NRP in the conversation. Hey, listen, we in St. Kitts, this is what's going on. We do it as a Navy St. Kitts thing. We do it together as one. We didn't get that. Okay, Ike, what got me now? I listened to Alexis Jeffers the other night, and he was saying, rehashing the fact that the Taiwanese and Mexico and Canada and everybody sending aid to St. Kitts. They are not getting any. Ike, these are people who sit in the cabinet. They never told us that. When we asked the question, they never said anything. They said they have it good. But I remember Ike while he was talking, I remember the Patriot Navy went to Japan and brought back a $30 million US fishery project. And because the Japanese agreed what they want to build it, how they want to build it. And with the project today, under Alexis Jeffers, agriculture in St. Kitts, where they are getting benefits in St. Kitts. Alexis Jeffers is the Minister of Agriculture in the Federation for St. Kitts Navy. What are we getting in Navy? Now, we must all join together now to blame St. Kitts, to blame Timothy Harris, to blame the past relationship with Labour. We got blamed for being with Pam. No, them is with Pam. I mean, come on, man. Come on, it is St. Kitts Navy. Let's get together as one and work it out. When it's wrong, hey man, say it's wrong. When you got problem, tell us. And we send you there. And Ike, this is the problem I am facing. When I tell them, listen, assistance for small business, not one project, nothing. Ike 2020, and I don't want to repeat myself. April of 2020. Okay, do it then, good.
Repeat
April
yourself.
Okay, because that's what it is now. April of 2020, Ike, after the lockdown, I went to the office, tell them, listen, things are hard enough, small business was temporarily discontinued. Please, help us. Give me a pep. I have 2 workers. That will help me too. You can go show me a list, a long list. It's a scab here. We can't get nobody on, not one person. We do get on. I said, what? He can send one the guy to St. Kitts the Thursday. He came back up the Friday, said he going back down the Monday because he come up for some stuff. He get a job. I went to my Mark, you realize what's going on? I went back to the step office. He said, this is 2 years ago. And you know when we hear they tell people in the pet? 2 years after, when they break up. 2 years after, and I knew that 2 years ago I spoke about it.
Wow.
You hear me calling about assistance for small business. This morning a lady called me crying. The place is going to shut down. This is going to happen. That I said, I told you, let's form an association. I just left where I'm done. That's what pumped me to call. I meet another guy and they tell me, I don't know what for buy. Yeah, small business line. I said, I told you. Years ago, nobody will listen. But you know what they're saying? Okay, I don't want the government take up the money and give him. But now that them again, now that we send them there for, they getting money. Look at St. John. I mean, let me tell you, EK, needless to blame St. Kitts as much as they want. That's what we do. Last time we running St. George's from 1987, winning the seat all the way through until he stepped down. 1987, going St. George's and let him point to say anything that Van Sammy did in St. George's. Anything, any one thing, let him point. It's probably take to go over there to put the road from Market Shop to Brick Hill. Good, and nobody votes for Barry up there. But he said, no, this is Navy's. You know what I'm saying? They're taking out the historical corners. I mean, come on. Come on. But fast, backtrack to, I just said, go back. Backtrack to 1993 when they had the neutral stand. You know what Marsha was complaining about? They didn't give us no school. They didn't fix the police station. You know what did they? Bam! But he had refused to join with Labour. And then when we start to blaming Labour over the government, he can buy thank you for talk all day.
Thank you so much, Cabo. Respect. More and more people need to put things into perspective. Because it needs to happen. I keep trying to make the point, but I keep getting cut off. Sis, if an economy is strong, job creation is also there. And if you're not creating jobs for your young people, what are you doing? What are you doing? Look in the civil service well want clean up, you know. He well want clean up, but he gonna take a politician. It's going to take a leader who really wants better for his country to clean it up. Everybody in the civil service wants some customer training. Every last one. And if you're good and if you're dealing with customers properly, you could do with the top up. The whole civil service need overhauling. Every last one. But when you talk this way, the PS them works with you. Imagine a PS a call the next PS a tell the PS, don't give EK no work. Because EK abuse the government every day. Look at we ease of doing business. People come here and they can't even get their business done. They got to go to a minister directly to get their business done. I hear somebody complain about the quotas. You send a document over to Nevis, boom, 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 you get it back. In St. Kitts, because you got more people at work, it take you near 2 months to get back your documents. Now look that they shut down the quotas. Juicy in charge of the judicial as the AG. Mauling the courthouse. For years. Since he in there. No fix it. But he now coming to tell us he gonna go build a new Bastille High School. But you want somebody just duck you with some dirty water part now. I think people stupid. It's like Dr. Ju said yesterday. What is this love affair with Innotech? People, let me tell you something. If you want to know how some of these politicians that get stinking rich, kickbacks. Let me tell you how kickbacks go. I have this phone, right? This phone costs 500 EC, right? I'm selling the phone. Now, somebody's going to come and say, well, Mr. Government Man, he can sell a phone for $500. I could get the phone for $3. Right? But we're going to make out the invoice for $5. I'm going to buy the phone from EK for $3 and the extra $2. One for me, one for you. Are you understand? The phone costs $5. Somebody's going to come and say, I could get the phone for $3. Because the person who got the phone selling is my brethren. So I could get it for $3. So, make out the invoice for $5. I'm going to buy the phone for $3. And I'm going to give you $100. And I'm going to keep $100. No. Don't get me wrong. The phone costs $500. So anybody who dealing with the books, go and look at the phone and say, okay, well, yeah, the phone costs $500. But because it's EK going to do the deal, the person is going to sell me the phone for $300. Give me a discount. But we still put in the invoice to come out of the treasury for $500. We pay the $3, or we pay the full $500 to the person. Because even the person might be involved in it too. And here we are. They split up the balance of the money. A piece of land over there who push off. The piece of land to push off going to cost you about roughly $40,000. The dumping, the backhoe, the work, whatever, $40,000. But an invoice shows up for $250,000. Where you think the excess is going? A developer comes here. All right, I'm going to approve your development over there, and you're going to see to it that I get back at least $2 million for my campaign. What the investor gonna do? He ain't pay the $2 million. Because the investor want to get his thing going. That's how these men make money. And they're dealing in cash, eh? So when you hear somebody go and come back and they get caught with a big bag of money, I cash them boy, I deal in. Cash. When you see up and down June election and you got this big wad of cash, a man gone $60,000 and come back and just a dish out. That's where the money come from. Kickbacks. When you done build a hotel, one the room them mine, one the condos them mine. You could then turn around and do a fee, what you call timeshare. So whatever money that condo make goes into your pocket, because it's yours. Or you could turn around and sell it after a while. Because if a condo now, because property they go up in value, it don't go down, it goes up. That's why you see most of these politicians, most of these rich people go into real estate because land and property can spoil. Even if they might get a little run down, they go up in value. So if you catch a $60,000, lose $60,000, buy a piece of property, it can't spoil. You might buy it for $30,000 in the next 2 years, the value going up. You could then turn on and flip it for another 60 or 75. And if infrastructure goes in, the value of it also goes up. That's why you see some people selling some land for $100 and something thousand, and they only paid $20,000 for it. That's how you wash money. You hear? There's smart ways to invest your money. You make a $60,000, you buy 2 pieces of land, each valuing at least $25,000. If you get government land, better for you. Private land might cost you a little bit more. But if you go get government land, take it. Because once you develop, it's going to cost. It's going to go up in price. This is how these guys make their money. Kickbacks. I'm going to give you a project in the quarry. The man with the backhoe and the truck, he going to give them to somebody to run. But I'm going to pay you this. The government minister who approved the job gets about $5,000 every week. Do the maths. $5,000 every week. And that's only one project. If you got another project going on over there, you're cutting some roads and you're digging some trenches and you're running some cables and you're doing this and you're doing that, a contract over here, a contract over there, it adds up. So that's why you see with politicians, after 2-3 months in government, who no got villa, got condo, renovate the house, build a $100 million mansion, change the Jeep 3-4 times. And you wonder, where the hell this money here come from? The salary can't afford that because you who boss your ass every month knows that you got to struggle to pay your mortgage. And you just see them, they just are moving leaps and bounds. It's the kickbacks. They got different streams of revenue coming in. And they take that and they invest it over there and they flip it over there and they wait, and they're good to go. You got to understand how this thing works, you know. We got 5 more minutes to go. Call coming in. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Let me be quick. Let me ask you a question. I hear you talking about kickback and the whole and yards. I listened to Sean on a program the other day, right? And again, you know me to pay attention. Sean said, if he land, if he house in Santa Point, and how he pays for the house, he sell his land. So I asked him, Sean, where you get the land? Who you get the land on? So you get the land under the unity government. Will you get to me that raise eyes, bro? Because if you get the land under the unity government, then that means it's government land. And he'll explain that up to now. So he wants to explain to me how much he buy the land for and how much he sell the land for to sell the house.
Okay then.
Because I find that is a problem.
All right.
Because we need to look into this thing because we cannot let the next politician get in power and could do the same thing with land. Buy it for 10 and sell it for 60. So you see a lot of things that come out based on what happened to these with this father now. We got a lot of work to do, you know. We got a lot of work to do. You have a good day, brother.
Bless yourself, my Lord. Thank you so much for your telephone call. I think a joke, I lie. Be vigilant, people. Watch and see what's going on. And you're going to understand. There's a real morning to you. You all right? This is how the kickback thing work. You ever want a politician like a Virgin give me a story the other day? Guy Nevis, one of the politicians' close ally, on a boat with a briefcase or a bag full of money, Guy Nevis. Full of money, me tell you. You hear? Okay. Hello, morning.
Hello, good morning. Morning.
Morning, how you doing?
I am good. If I have a question.
Tell me.
Last night I was listening to a program and they said for overseas voters to come home is bribery. Now, can somebody explain to me if I take my money and it's election time and I help a friend or a family to come home to vote, is it bribery?
No.
Because they must realize and understand there are many things that the overseas people do to raise funds every year because they are associations and they pull that money and they send it out to buy tickets for persons. So why is it that they say it's bribery? I need somebody to help me understand it.
Okay, I'm breaking
because I am puzzled. I am totally puzzled when they say it's bribery.
Okay, I'm going to break it down for you. All right?
Okay, and I have another question for the people of Navy. Right? Mark is in government for how long? In the federal, in the Navy's local election, in local government. From since 2013.
Yeah, right.
I am asking the people of Navy, what have he done? What have he? Don't tell me roads. Don't tell me roads. I don't want to hear it. But I need them to give me 2 projects that have been completed, not overrun and over budget, by the CCN administration for Navies. We're not talking federal. We're talking Navies. What is the jobs creation has he put in place for the young people coming out of school and out of college? Don't tell me 4 seasons, because everybody cannot work 4 seasons. What is there for the young people? And I'm asking Navy's people, open your eyes. Look at the cost of living. Are you better off 7 years? 7 years ago to today? Look at the cost of living. Look at your water bill. Look at your electricity bill. Just those 2. I'm asking them, look at those 2 bills. Because they have put on $25 on your water bill. Water used to be like $10 a gallon. How much of a gallon? Right? We are now paying like $30. Plus an additional $25. Because they took it off the electricity bill. Right? We need to get real. Are we getting real? Look at your electricity bill. They brought in a brand new generator and they're telling you your bill is going to go down. Have your bill gone down? Has your bill gone down or has it rocket over the roof? Your children come out of school. What is there for them to do? They have finished. Now some of them want to come back from university. And there's a young lady saying your children is going to go on the STEP program. So you already spend your money to send your child off to school, sacrifice yourself, bang your belly, hungry days, and your child gonna come back home after studying, and you're gonna go on this STEP program to pay what, $360 a week. We need to be real. Ike, you have a blessed morning.
Have a blessed morning yourself, my friend. Wow. That is the question. Are you better off? Remember Mark Brantley asked the question there on his ascension? Are you better off? Is your standard of living better? Well, who is to blame for that? And don't tell me nothing about the pandemic. Please don't tell me nothing about the pandemic. Because I saw we handle the pandemic the best. We can handle it the best and still turn on and use it to ball. This is what these politicians do, you know. Anyway, we got our next caller. We're almost out of time. Caller, you're on, go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
A little thing I'm mother doing government when it comes to kickback, like I said earlier. All you got to do, simple. Okay, you can want to do some sidewalk in this area. Let's say going up here. You're supposed to cost 50,000 BC. We're going to invoice 50,000 dollars. And just send it price to me. Calm and cool, sir.
Okay.
Back. So let me just take the difference after.
All right.
So easy them things happen.
Of course.
Simple like that.
Of course.
You know the difference between 50,000 US and 50,000 BC?
Of course.
And you see what projects you see them do, where you see millions of dollars in US? Millions still the price less than that, you know. Way less than that. So we only hear about it when falling out happens, like what happened with Dante.
Okay.
And otherwise, the hot would have done bill, $200 something thousand, and nobody would have known. Nobody would have known the hot any cost 50,000.
Okay, my lord.
Anyway, that's all.
All right, man. Bless up. I hope I see you now, you understand. I want this election here draw right out. Because I know Timothy still got more dot on them. And I know that Pam going to continue to open the mouth and put a foot in the mouth. So I want this thing here drawn out, drag out. Trust me. Well, people, we've come to the end. And my guest is going to be on tomorrow. I think I got my dates crossed up or mixed up. But anyway, we had a pretty good show. And I hope people understand what is really taking place here. I wish and I pray that every day people would wake up to the realization and look and pay attention to what's happening in your society and in your country. You felt it. You saw it. It's always good and exciting to have the party that you prefer be in government. But if they're not performing, you're going to still keep them there? Just to say your party in power? And your country now move? The innovation that you want to see ain't moving? The things that need to change ain't changing? You still hear about the corruption and the little shushu and the this and the that? Really? You get a row of pave, okay. But still your supermarket now make no money. Your restaurant now make no money. You got to shut it down. And your politician that change Jeep now span you. Your politician that wear watch cost $40,000 US. And your politician come and show it off and say, see there. And you're like, yay! And then when the meeting done, you go back home. Nothing in your damn cupboard to cook. You still got to go beg a man. You still got to go harass your child father. And he not pay no choice because he not work neither. Because nothing go on. But you put on a shot and you go to a political meeting. Go jump up with your politician. Where your politician live? On top of a hill. In a 5-bedroom mansion. With solar panels. And you got to go worry about cook thieves and robbers coming into your house. You got to go worry about school fees. You got to go worry about your electricity. You got to go worry about courts, hospitals, and TDC. Which bill to pay, which here, there, and everywhere. But yet still, you put on your colors. And you're going to go jump up with your politician. Yay! My politician buy he one shoes, yay! My politician buy a piece of land and a BMW and say, yay! Talk! And you out here catch your ass. I mean, how you can realize? You got to go to your politician and beg them for an opportunity. You can't just walk into any establishment on your own merit as a citizen with a policy in place specifically tailored for you that you don't have to go to a politician to say, oh, well, put through this. I don't realize. You don't have to go around and make a bag of noise on social media because what? Your politician is busy putting policies in place for your prosperity, for the country's prosperity. So you don't have to be out here poppy showing yourself looking like, bye. People, you have an opportunity. The opportunity has always been yours to put these politicians in check, all of them. And the best people to put the politicians in check is the supporters. I tell you, it says so. But because the supporters get a little thing over here and a little thing there, all is well. But to God be the glory, you hear? Rastafari, I know. People, that's going to do it for us here this morning. Thank you so much for joining me again. Thank you for your support. Thank you for sharing the live. I know who I'm going to vote for. And I know what I am voting for. I realize me don't tell I who to vote for. I wonder if I realize. You know, you got some people come and tell you, vote for this. You realize I don't tell I who to vote for? That is by design. I bring the issues. I have the discussions for you to think for yourself. So at the end of the day, the choice will be yours. I ain't tell nobody take the vaccine, but the doctor who had the most answers and the best answers about the vaccine, I had him. So when I hear people come and talk about, oh, Ike this, and Ike that, and Ike this, and Ike that, don't study them. Me not a papi show. Nobody can say, oh, me out here promote labor, me out here promote. Me never tell nobody who to vote for. That choice is yours. But what I will do is highlight the necessary things that could encourage you to make the choice. What I will do is to put things into perspective for you. Get the people on in front of you so you can question them, hear them, and then you make the choice. If some don't want to come, that is up to them. But the platform is here. This is not no labor platform. This is a me platform where me build. You hear? And me could got ya whoever me want to got ya. Just like our freedom, we have everybody. It's not no labor station. You have a message, you come, you pay your money, and you disseminate your message. If you feel like to ask your question, we ask you a question. So big up to the comrades who say vote Labour in the comment section, vote NRP, vote CCM, vote PLP. No problem. But when somebody asks you, well, why should I vote for your party? You must be able to articulate the party's position. So before you go out there and say, vote for this, vote for that, vote for this, make sure that you know what the party's ideals are. Make sure you understand what your candidate's ideals are. So that if somebody engage you, you don't tell them, well, for you ask if you not vote to me, your Timothy stupid and Mark. No. Articulate the position. That is your duty as a supporter. To articulate the party's position on any given issue. And if you don't know what the issues are of the day, Don't be out there in nobody's Facebook, vote for this and vote for that. Please and thanks. The final word I would leave you with, since we got the numbers here so far, and I should have done it when we was up big, but anyway, the census, please, again, I implore you people, the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, to take part in the census. Give the information. If you feel as though your information is going to be compromised, you have avenues via which you can get some retribution. Civil quota work. I don't know where they're going to put the quotas now, but civil quota work. File a lawsuit. Find a lawyer to file a lawsuit against the government if your information is being used in a manner in which you do not want it to be used. But barring that, please, everybody, I'm encouraging you, everybody in this live right now this morning, I'm encouraging you. Make yourself available for the census people. Answer their questions truthfully. Anything that you do not feel too comfortable asking, there are options that you can give in terms of variations. But this information will be used in the process of crafting policies that will affect all of us, if the politicians do the work. And here is where the responsibility is on you. Give the information, and when you're done, give the information. Elect the politicians that you know will use the information provided to them by the stats office, the statisticians, to craft the necessary policies to aid you, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Think further than your nose. Take part in the census. Give the information. There are avenues to go if you feel a politician going to use your information against you. That is all I have to say on that. Again, thank you so much for joining me this morning, and have yourself a great day. I'll see you this afternoon on Island Rhythms. Goodbye for now.